Hello students, today in this lecture 3 we are going to discuss about blood vessels, transportation in human beings, that is human circulatory system and double circulation. In the previous lecture we have discussed about the blood. Now we will start this lecture with blood vessels. What are blood vessels? Blood vessels are pipe-like structure or tubes present inside our body through which the blood will flow. So blood vessels are of three types, that is arteries, veins and capillaries. All of these have different functions. So first of all, what are blood vessels? These are a kind of thin pipes or tubes through which the blood flows in the body. So there are three types of blood vessels: arteries, veins and capillaries. First of all, arteries. Arteries are thick-walled blood vessels which carry blood from the heart to different organs. Means these are the pipe-like structure or tubes which carry blood from the heart to different organs of the body. Means it will be taking the blood away from the heart to different organs. All the arteries carry oxygenated blood. Oxygenated means oxygen rich blood from the heart to different organs. But there is an exception. There is a pulmonary artery which carry deoxygenated blood from the heart to lungs, whereas all the other arteries carry oxygenated blood. Fine. So this must be clear that all the arteries carry blood from the heart to different organ. Secondly, arteries always carry oxygenated blood. Third point, there is an exceptional pulmonary artery is there which carry deoxygenated blood from the heart to lungs. The next blood vessel is veins. These are thin walled blood vessels which carry blood from different organs to the heart. Means these are the tube like structure or pipe like structure which carry blood from different organs towards the heart. Remember, all the veins carry deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated means carbon dioxide rich blood. All the veins will carry deoxygenated blood, but there is an exception. There is pulmonary vein which carry oxygenated blood from lungs to the heart. Otherwise all the veins will carry deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated means carbon dioxide rich blood, but there is an exception. There is pulmonary vein that carries oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart. And in the structure of the veins, valves are present. What are valves? Valves are, you can say, like flap like structure present inside the veins to prevent the backflow of the blood, so that blood do not backflow in these veins. Capillaries. Capillaries are the intermediate between arteries and veins, where the exchange of substances like gases, nutrients and waste takes place between the artery and the vein, and the exchange also takes place between the capillaries and the body cells. I will explain you through this diagram. This is artery. Artery from heart, it is getting a oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood means oxygen rich blood. Then it will go into these capillaries. Since the oxygenated blood will then diffuse into the body cells, where the respiration will take place, leading to the formation of carbon dioxide. Then this carbon dioxide again diffuse into the capillaries, and from capillaries this deoxygenated blood will enter the veins. So you can see here, capillary act as the intermediate between the artery and the vein, where the exchange of gases as well as other materials will take place, as well as there will be exchange of material between the capillary and the body cells. Fine. Let's proceed further. Transport in human beings. The main transport system in human beings are: one is human circulatory system and the second one is lymphatic system. We will discuss in detail one by one. Human circulatory system. The circulatory system which is responsible for transport of various substances in human beings. It is composed of the heart, arteries, veins, and capillaries. Blood plays the role of the carrier of substances. Mean, what is circulatory system? It is a type of system which is responsible for transport of various substances in human beings, and it composed of heart, arteries, veins, blood capillaries. Blood also plays an important role of carrier in this human circulatory system. So far we have discussed about the blood, veins, arteries and blood capillaries. Only one part of this human circulatory system is left, that is heart. So what is heart? Heart is a muscular organ which is composed of cardiac muscles, means it is formed of cardiac muscles. The size of the heart is about same as a clenched fist. It is considered that the size of the heart is equal to the folded fist of our hand. The heart is a pumping organ which pumps the blood throughout the body. The human heart is composed of 4 chambers, that is right auricle, right ventricle, left auricle, left ventricle, to prevent the oxygen rich blood from mixing with the blood containing carbon dioxide. Why they are having chambers? They are having different chambers so that the oxygen rich blood do not mix with the blood containing carbon dioxide, and there is proper transportation of the materials throughout the body. Fine. Why they are composed of 4 chambers? So to prevent the oxygen rich blood from mixing with the blood containing carbon dioxide. Let's proceed further. The upper 2 chambers of the heart are called arteria and or atrium. We say atrium when it is singular, and the lower 2 chambers of the heart are called ventricles. I will show you here. Here you can see left atrium and right atrium. Collectively they are known as arteria. So this is the first compartment, that is left atrium and right atrium. Further it consists of left ventricle and right ventricle. So these are the 4 chambers which are separated from one another so that oxygen rich blood is not mixed with the carbon dioxide rich blood. So there are 4 chambers in the heart, that is left atrium, left ventricle, right atrium, right ventricle. Fine. Let's see further. The left atrium is connected to the left ventricle through a valve called bicuspid or mitral valve. You can see here this left atrium is connected to the left ventricle through this valve. Valve, you can say a flap like structure which opens and closes, and there is movement of blood from left atrium to left ventricle. So it is a flap like structure which is present over there, which allows the movement of blood from the atrium to the ventricle. So the valve which is present between the left atrium and left ventricle is bicuspid valve or mitral valve. Fine. Let's proceed further. The right atrium is connected to the right ventricle through a valve called tricuspid valve. Here you can see the right atrium is connected to the right ventricle through this valve, a white like structure present over there. This is tricuspid valve. Clear? These valves present the backflow of the blood into arteria when the ventricles contract to pump blood out of the heart to the rest of the body. What is the function of these valves? When this left ventricle and right ventricle will pump the blood out of the heart, these flaps or these valves will close so that the blood from the left or the right ventricle do not flow to their atriums. That is why they are present over here. Valves prevent the backflow of the blood from the ventricles to the arteria. Clear? Ventricles have to pump blood into various organs with such a high pressure that they have walls thicker than that of arteries. You can see here the walls of the ventricles are more thicker than that of the arteria. Why? Because the main function of the ventricle is to pump the blood with high pressure towards the various organs of the body. So they needed to have the thick walls as compared to that of the atriums. Clear? The chambers of the heart are separated by a partition called septum. You can see all these chambers are separated by a partition, and this partition is known as septum, which prevent the mixing of oxygenated blood with the deoxygenated blood. A sheath of tissue called pericardium protects the muscular heart. It allows enough room for vigorous pumping but also keeps the heart in place, reducing friction between the heart and other structures. You can see here in this here a pericardium tissue, or you can say pericardium sheath of tissue is present over here, which protects the heart, and it also helps in keeping the heart at its place even though it beats or it pumps rigorously. Fine, it provides protection to the heart. The heart beats non-stop all the time. The heartbeat is due to rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the heart muscles, which makes up the arteria and the ventricles. Means heartbeat consisted of contraction and relaxation of the heart muscles. It is to be noted that two arteria, means left and the right atrium, contract and relax together. Similarly, the two ventricles, left and the right ventricle, contract together and relax together. Means when there will be contraction, the two arteria will contract and relax together, and when there will be contraction in the ventricles, both of the ventricles will contract and relax together. Now we are proceeding further. Some important terms which you should know before starting the topic circulation. First is aorta, the largest artery in the human body, which carries blood from the heart to all the parts of the body except the lung. Means this is the largest artery present in the human body, which carries the blood from the heart to all the parts of the body except the lungs. Inferior vena cava, this is a large vein that carry deoxygenated blood from the lower half of the body to the right atrium of the heart. Means this is a large vein which will carry deoxygenated blood from the lower half of the body to the right atrium of the heart. Superior vena cava, this is the large vein that carry deoxygenated blood from the upper half of the body. Means it will be carrying the deoxygenated blood from the upper half of the body to the right atrium of the heart. Oxygenated blood, the blood carrying oxygen, is known as oxygenated blood, and deoxygenated blood, the blood carrying carbon dioxide, is known as deoxygenated blood. Now all these things will be clear here. Kindly see this diagram carefully, you will get to know everything. Lungs, left atrium, left ventricle, right atrium, right ventricle. One by one I will be telling you each and every step. The first step we are going to, in this we are discussing about how the circulation of blood is taking place through the heart and through the whole body. When first step is when the muscles of all the four chambers of the heart are relaxed. Means all the chambers, arteries and ventricles are relaxed. The pulmonary vein brings the oxygenated blood from the lungs to the left atrium of the heart. Here you can see this is lungs. Lung have oxygenated blood. That oxygenated blood will be carried from the lungs to the left atrium by a pulmonary veins. I have told you earlier also, veins carry deoxygenated blood, but there was an exception, that pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood. So this is that pulmonary vein. It is carrying oxygenated blood from the lungs to the left atrium. First point must be clear. Let's see further. When the left atrium contracts, means now the left atrium contracts, the oxygenated blood is pushed into the left ventricle through bicuspid valve. When this left atrium will contract, the blood will flow, this oxygenated blood will flow into the left ventricle through this bicuspid valve or mitral valve. Clear? Let's see the third point. When the left ventricle contracts, now the left ventricle will contract, the oxygenated blood is forced into the main artery called aorta, and this main artery then branches into smaller arteries which go into the different body organ except the lungs. Now when this left ventricle will contract, it will push the blood to aorta, and this aorta is the largest artery present in the body, so this will carry oxygenated blood to all the organs of the body, because further this aorta will get branched into smaller arteries joining the body organs, and the oxygenated blood will be given to the body organs. From this aorta will carry the blood to the body organs, and cells will get that oxygenated blood. They will use oxygen for the process of respiration, and carbon dioxide will be produced which will get mixed up in the blood again. Now this deoxygenated blood will be carried by main vena cava, that is superior vena cava, and the inferior vena cava to the right atrium. I have already told you the function of superior and inferior vena cava. They will be carrying the deoxygenated blood from the upper half of the body and the lower half of the body towards the right atrium. Clear? The main artery carries blood to all the organs of the body like head, chest, arms, stomach, kidneys. When the oxygenated blood passes through the capillaries of the body organs, then it gives oxygen to the body cell. The blood also gives the digested food and other dissolved materials to the body cells. At the same time, carbon dioxide will be produced as a waste material during respiration, which enters into the blood. This deoxygenated blood from the body organs enters the main vein called vena cava. The main vein carries the deoxygenated blood to the right atrium of the heart. Fine. Further, when the right atrium will contract, the deoxygenated blood is pushed into the right ventricle through tricuspid valve. Now you can see right atrium will be containing deoxygenated blood which was brought up by the vena cava, and when the right atrium will contract, it will push this blood into the right ventricle through a tricuspid valve. Fine. Let's proceed further. When the right ventricle will contract, the deoxygenated is pumped into the lungs through the pulmonary artery. In the lungs, deoxygenated blood releases its carbon dioxide and absorbs oxygen and becomes oxygenated again. Here you will see, when this right ventricle will contract, what will happen? The deoxygenated blood will pumped into the lungs through this pulmonary artery. I have already told you that all the arteries carry oxygenated blood, but there was an exception, pulmonary artery which carries deoxygenated blood. So this is that artery. This artery will carry deoxygenated blood from right ventricle to the lungs, where this carbon dioxide will be removed out of the body, and this blood will again get oxygenated, and the circle will again start in the same manner. Fine. Now this is clear. This is the circulation of blood throughout the body. This whole process is repeated continuously. Now here you can see, this is more, even it will be more clear to you. Lungs, from lungs the oxygenated blood will come through pulmonary vein to the left atrium. From the left atrium it will go to the left ventricle. From the left ventricle it will go into this, it will go into aorta. From aorta it will go to the body organs. From the body organs, carbon dioxide rich blood, or you can say deoxygenated blood, will be carried by vena cava to the right atrium. From the right atrium it will go into the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, through pulmonary artery, it will go into the lungs. So this must be clear to you. Let's proceed further. Double circulation. First of all, what is double circulation? A circulatory system in which the blood travels twice throughout the heart in one cardiac cycle is called double circulation. Means it is a type of circulatory system in which the blood travels twice through the heart in one cardiac cycle is called double circulation. One complete heartbeat in which all the chambers of the heart contract and relax once is called cardiac cycles. Means it is a complete heartbeat which consists of the contraction and relaxation of all the chambers of the heart once is called cardiac cycle. And what is double circulation? Double circulation is the circulation of blood twice through the heart in one cardiac cycle is known as double circulation. Which two types of double circulation are taking place in a human body? That is pulmonary circulation. First circulation, the pathway of blood. It is a pathway of followed by blood from the heart to the lungs and back to the heart is called pulmonary circulation. This is the first type of circulation in which the blood from the heart will go to the lungs and back to the heart, called pulmonary circulation. Second circulation, systematic circulation. This is the pathway of blood from the heart to the rest of the body and back to the heart is called systematic circulation. These are two type of circulation together makes the double circulation. You can see here, since in these two circulation the blood is passing twice through the heart, that is why it is known as double circulation. I am repeating it again. Double circulation is the type of circulatory system in which blood travels twice through the heart. In the human body, two type of circulation taken together makes the double circulation. One is pulmonary circulation in which the blood from the heart goes to the lungs and back to the heart, and systematic circulation in which the blood from the heart to the rest of the body and then back to the heart. So due to these two types of circulation taken together, double circulation takes place inside the human heart or human body. Clear? The animals such as mammals and birds have four-chambered heart and have double circulation. In four-chambered heart, the left side and the right side of the heart are completely separated, and double circulation ensures that the oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood do not mix with each other. When they will not mix with each other, there will be optimum energy production in warm-blooded animals. As you know, the energy requirement in animals such as mammals and bird is very high. So there is need of four-chamber heart, due to which the double circulation will produce, and due to this double circulation the production of energy will be optimum. Fine. The amphibians like frog and reptiles like lizards are cold-blooded animals and have a three-chambered heart. Means frog and lizard have three-chambered heart consisting of two arteria and one ventricle. Due to this incomplete division, oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood will mix up to some extent, which reduces the production of energy in these animals. They also have double circulation that delivers blood to the lungs and to the rest of the body. Though they are having double circulation, but the production of energy in these animals is less because it consists of incomplete division of the heart, which consists of two arteria and one ventricle. So the production of energy will not be more. Single circulation. Fishes, on the other hand, have two chambers to their heart, that is one atrium and one ventricle, and the pump and the blood is pumped to the gills, is oxygenated in the gills and passes directly to the rest of the body. The blood goes only once through the heart in the fish during one cycle of passage. So the flow of blood in a fish is called single circulation. Means at the gills of the fishes, oxygenation of the blood will take place, and that oxygenated blood will flow into their body. So there is only single circulation taking place inside the fish, because its heart consists of only two chambers, that is one atrium and one ventricle. So there is no double circulation. I hope you must be clear with this. In the next topic we will be discussing about lymphatic system. Thank you so much.